Hey friends, welcome back. Thank you for joining me again tonight. Before we start, if you like this type of content, liking and subscribing really help keep this going. Also, drop in the comments what other game or series you'd like to listen to in the future. I tend to listen to these myself, quite often. And now, let's step quietly into the messiest chapter of the surface, night raids, stormfall, and the human chaos that slips between the ARC's rules. Night changes the grammar of Calabretta. The skyline gets kinder, the network gets mean. Cones tighten, dwell times shrink, and microdrones that napped at noon wake up and write lines across the air you can't see, but you can feel. A prickle on your neck when a sweep passes close enough to taste. If you've been with me through earlier episodes, you know our doctrine. Don't give ARC a pattern. Night doubles that rule. The mistake most crews make is confusing concealment with permission. Night doesn't forgive you. It only hides you long enough to learn what you are, disciplined or loud. Start with prep that respects darkness. Paint and tape are for daylight. At night, you label yourselves in touch. Every pack gets the same 3 tactile markers. Rough patch at the top grab, a knotted cord on the left shoulder strap for your anchor, smooth tape on the right for your runner. In a dog pile, you can tell who's who by hand. Every comm has a physical mute you can hit without looking. Every den drills 1 minute of blind gear checks. Clip, seal, sling, battery, light. Light's a single click, low lumen, no strobe. The only thing worse than blindness is broadcasting. Routes adjust too. Day routes like long diagonals that borrow shadow from buildings, night routes like layered cover, awnings under overhangs, inside edges of stairwells, the lee of rooftop HVAC hulks. You don't cross a plaza at night, you lace it. 5 meters to trash, 3 to bench, 6 to kiosk. Pause. If you have to sprint, your sprint ends behind soft cover, upholstery, soil, not hard, glass, tile, sheet metal. Shrapnel is just hardcover arguing back. A RC escalation ladders compress after dark. A single, sloppy move draws a scout and a fixer so close behind it feels like one breath. Your counters matter, but your ears matter more. Snitch tone rising, then the distant chock of a bombardier's bass settling, then a higher whine as it calculates. If you hear the whine, you already spent your margin. Break line of sight with elevation or cadence, not volume. 2 long moves, 1 short, dead stop. Then wait out 2 corrections. If none come, you didn't teach a pattern. If they come fast, you're inside a ladder. Leave the grid, don't fight it. Decoys are different at night. Apollo's market grey smoke is worth its weight, but 1 can is a door and 2 is a diary ARC will read. You toss smoke to hide decisions, not to start a parade. Throw it wide and up, so it drifts between eye and place, not around your legs. Thermal blinks, those coin-sized lies, work best on quiet surfaces. Culvert lips, rebar stubs, cold stone. Mirrors? Careful. A mirror under moonlight looks like a mirror. Tape it flat to a cracked wall, so its flash reads like noise in the sensor's own return, not like a shiny human trick. Leapers shine at night because parallel cover turns into a hallway of shadows where they can write your next move for you. The counter isn't speed, it's funneling. You stage cloth and scrap to choke the path you want it to take, and you commit it early into a mouth your partner owns. Remember, you're solving a straight line for 1 breath, not winning a duel. Bastions become less patrol and more lanterns, anchored guardians marking where the network is doing work it won't be barged from. Treat a bastion's silhouette like a road closed sign you can't lift. Quiet routes trace its shade, never its front. Now, the storm. Stormfall scrambles 3 things at once: radios, footing, and human judgment. Electrical tantrums add fizz to RF and turn your comm plan into an improv class nobody asked for. Before you climb, you brief silence first doctrine. Hand signals over voice, voices over radio, radio over shouting. Signals are simple on purpose. Tap helmet, listen, 2 fingers, cone, flat palm, hold, circle point circle, reroute, handshake, you lead, tug, twice. I have you. Your runner carries the laminated card shiny prints for bad weather nights, and everyone memorizes 2 new exits that don't cross your primary. In Stormfall, exits cross when nerves spike. Crossed exits write obituaries. Footing is the second liar. Rain turns dust into glass, sand into grease, stairs into slate. Teams that survive have a soul's ritual. Smear, step, scrape, smear your soles in dirt before exposed surfaces, step full foot, scrape, clean at the next mat. On rooftops, you probe ahead with a line, not a toe, because storm water hides rotten seams. On ladders, you three-point always. If anyone slips, nobody pounces. Storm rescues kill more raiders than storms. Anchor, breathe, pull on count. Storms make cover sing, hard surfaces, tin awnings, glass walls. Turn every tap into a bell arc can hear better than you. When you must move near music, slow down. The instinct to rush is the storm's last trick. You move like ink, not like a shout. Bombardiers hate wind math. Change elevation and cadence. Don't give them a stable lane. If the storm is carrying your smoke sideways, throw from the upwind so it drifts between their eye and your move. If lightning's close, respect it. A queen doesn't need to see you if a bolt tags your silhouette on a rooftop like a flare. Chaos isn't just weather, it's people. Other raiders are part of the ecosystem, and at night, the map gets crowded. PvP reality. You're not obligated to cooperate with strangers. You're obligated to not make the surface worse. If a rival squad is inside a ladder and the network is writing to their noise, don't announce with your own fight. Let ARC do the work. Ghost the rim, take what they trigger and leave before their mess expands. If they're disciplined, consider the silent trade. A chalk arrow near an emptied cache, a knot on a handline you replaced. You'd be amazed how quickly those small courtesies turn into fewer funerals on both sides. What about human threats that mean you harm? Your best weapon isn't your aim, it's your exits. Night turns arguments into tragedies because pride wants center stage and ARC hates center stages. If you must disengage from people, do it with soft cover and angles, not noise. Smoke once, move diagonal, don't cross your planned exits. The ladder room is not a courtroom. You settle disputes under fans with mediators and pencils, not under queens with pride and echoes. Night med is different too. Lance would kill me if I didn't say this. Pack compression, bleed control, airway, not heroics. A tiny thermal blanket weighs nothing and turns shock into sleep instead of stupor. In Stormfall, hypothermia isn't cinematic, it's a quiet thief. Tourniquet high, write the time on skin, and leave. Nobody has ever out-argued a bombardier while doing a field stitch in the rain. Let's tie this to basins. The buried city at night rewards horizon control. You treat rooftops like a string of beads, move bead to bead only when a cone looks away. Market grey smoke isn't for theatrics, it's to turn a recalibration into an aisle. The dam at night is a liar. Echoes become alarms. Shots multiply. Your triangle, valve house to catwalk to tool bay, still works, but only if your feet remember Great's drink sound. Glass shouts. Spaceport at night punishes straight lines. Cones love center lines. You move under ribs, gantry undersides, control annex shadows, and you don't trust lights, even dead ones, because ARC sweep them like they still matter. Blue Gate? Don't. Unless you have to. Wind will carry your voice back to you with a second heartbeat and make you think something's pacing you. It's you. Breathe, count, move when the mountain says move. Here's a night checklist crews whisper through masks before the first step. Hands. Anchor left, runner right. Comms, mute set, signals clear. Light. One click low, no strobe. Cones. Tight, 7 dwell. 3, sweep. Windows. Hush after 4 pips, plan to land. Decoys. 1 grey, 1 blink, 1 mirror flat. Cover. Soft stop picked. Exits. Blue fast, valve slow, no cross. Abort. 27 if busy holds. Finally, the mindset. Night and Stormfall tempt you into thinking failure is personal and success is flair. It isn't. Success is boring. Counting, waiting, moving on beats the network can't spare attention for. Failure is dramatic. Loud, proud, filmed in your mind like a reel you'll regret. The surface doesn't respect speeches. It respects triangles that don't cross, lies told to sensors once per cycle, and teams that leave early when the air goes wrong. The city won't remember your bravado. It will remember your numbers. The first hush arrives like a breath held by a patient machine. RF fizz flattens to a clean hush for 3 heartbeats, and your team becomes thinner than a thought. Flick, slide, still. The heavy pack rides the runner's back, hand cups the bottom so the weight never swings into a sound. A leaper shadows the seam where rooftops dump into the canyon. You set its mouth with cloth, 2 strips tied low to fake a lane, and eyes bait it with one small motion that isn't a mistake. It's math. The leaper pounces into the mouth your partner owns. Stun hits joints, not plates, and the only noise is the soft thud of mass learning a lesson. You don't admire the lesson, you breathe. Second hush misshapes itself. The cadence comes 2 seconds late, and you feel pride ask for a sprint. Don't. The mirror you taped flat to a cracked parapet throws the mast's own ping back for a blink, whiting out one sliver of attention. That is your door. That door is small. You fold through it. At the service bridge, someone's laundry line and seatbelts make a hand line that has saved more ankles than prayers. You cross on the lull, slide the crate across the rope like a violin bow, and step into a shadow that repeats every cycle. Extraction is a bad word. It implies speed. What you did was withdrawal, clean, rehearsed, and hostile to drama. Stormfall at the dam turns confidence into glass and glass into alarms. You don't change the triangle. Valve house, catwalk, tool bay, you change how you touch it. Rain makes grates slick and hard cover loud. The bombardier on the berm loves long, clean lanes and hates wind that does not agree with itself. You treat the dam like a drummer who will punish you for stepping off tempo. Anchor smears soles in grit before metal. Runner checks comms by not speaking. Everyone taps mute with the same gloved knuckle. Eyes counts cones through water. 6 dwell, 3 sweep tonight, and hand watches the berm where the bombardier settles and lifts with a sound you can feel in your mouth. You don't cross the spillway centerline because centerlines are straight lines and straight lines are sermons arc preach back to you. Under the catwalk, you move in 3 stanzas, long, long, short stop. When the bombardier's whine rises, you resist the human urge to be faster than geometry. You change elevation instead, up 1 rung on a ladder, down 1 step on a grate, and let the calculator behind that whine recompute for an angle it now hates. Apollo's market grey smoke is a door, not a parade. You throw it up wind and wide, so it becomes haze between the eye and your path, and not around your legs, where it reads as human. The pressure door to the tool bay complains like a throat with gravel in it. You wedge sleeve fabric at the top corner, lean, wait for pressure to equalize, and let the door move without jerking. Inside, metal smells like old work, and drawers still hold gaskets no one loved enough to loot during panic. You don't reorganize the world. You take what becomes air and you put everything else back like you never mattered. The exit is where Stormfall kills pride. The bombardier walks corrections faster now because wind makes its solver angry. You accept that anger as weather. You break cadence on purpose. Long, long, still, behind soft cover that eats fragments, silted sandbags, a roll of cable, instead of hard cover that turns to knives. 2 corrections later, you are past its memory. On the stair tower, glass is a trap. Feet placed like paint. A drop tool would be a chorus. You lift, not drag. The last 10 meters are what most teams ruin. A sprint to safety with lungs that forgot patience. You step, you breathe. You leave the grid without writing a line the network can read tomorrow. Stormfall never applauds. It also does not argue with competence. Spaceport misdirection begins with twin hush windows, a double sync anomaly that seduces teams into treating the second hush like a gift. It isn't. You work the first hush like a craftsman and treat the second as false until logs prove otherwise. The route is Hangar A Arrow Fuel Alley, Arrow Service, Trench Arrow Control, Annex Shadow. Snitches love center lines, you love ribs. Under gantry trusses, you time movements to hush +1. The breath out, plus a count that keeps you from colliding with a bombardier's correction curve. The decoy is not noise, it's geometry. A mirror bracket taped flat to a torn control panel throws the mast's ping wrong for one breath. A coin blink stuck to a rebar tine warms like truth and then leaves no scent. A squeeze bottle of clay spritzed upward under an awning becomes a mistake in the air you didn't make. The first hush comes clean. The team becomes a diagram. Hands pass over paint lines that still whisper, "Stand here" to ghosts. Fuel alley smells like lies. Kerosene haunts promise leaks that aren't there. You step only on steel, grating, where soft ground waits like a hunger. At the service trench, you ride the rectangle's shadow. Runways are sermons, and sermons get answered by shells. The second hush arrives too early. Candy on a table no one trusts. You do nothing. That is the move. A leaper tests a parallel line near the annex, the place where pride would cross quick. You funnel it with cloth to your partner's mouth and treat its leap like a line on graph paper. Straight, brief, solvable. The crate leaves the trench when the air is busy again, because busy attention focused elsewhere is safer than counterfeit silence. Disengaging from people is where doctrine proves it's not a costume. Night, rain, rival raiders, a rumor of a cache both crews mapped. The temptation to settle it with volume is a failure mode the ARC love. You prepare for people like you prepare for machines. Exits that never cross, soft cover, stops chosen in advance, a smoke you only spend on humans. The first contact is posture. Hands where everyone can see, mask steady, radios at physical mute. Speak as if ARC are grading your sentence length. One line that names your intent. We're leaving east, no interest in your lane. If they posture height for height, you lower yours by a notch, knees soft, muzzle down. But you do not back into your own shadow until you see your exit open. If they close distance, you give ground diagonally, not straight back, so a leaper you didn't see can't turn both teams into a single target with one push. If escalation insists on arriving, you refuse to become content for the network. Smoke once, wide, to break sightlines. Move on angles to avoid straight-line stories. Never throw twice. Twice is a thread. ARC can stitch with corrections. If you must take a shot, it is down into soft, and then you leave before the echo becomes a pattern. Your runner does not argue over mic. They call the exit blue, fast. Everyone repeats blue. Fast because repetition is insurance against panic. The ladder room is the only place you finish human arguments. Mediators sit with pencils there. Queens sit on berms up here. Your courage is measured in restraint. How fast you can turn anger into routes. How quietly you can vanish while pride rehearses a speech you refuse to deliver. Now string the scenarios into a single habit you can teach. Night is a contract. You keep it by not writing patterns. Stormfall is a test. You pass by letting geometry do the heavy lifting while you do the quiet work. Spaceport is a con. You win by refusing counterfeit windows and moving only when silence is paid for. People are weather with voices. You survive by treating exits like law and speeches like luxuries. Tie it together with a card in your runner's pocket. Night storm people. 3 lines each. Night, touch labels. Hush, +1. Soft stops. Storm, signals first. Elevation breaks math. Glass lies. People. 1 line. Diagonal exit. Smoke once. If you need the comfort of ritual, end with the whisper checklist before you climb. Hands, comms, light, cones, windows, decoys, cover, exits, abort. Say it slow. Make it boring. Boring wins. The map won't clap for you, but the fans will still hum when you lie down, and that hum is the only applause that matters.